What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This is the day after I just did the shortened coolant loop video. So I'm putting the car back together yesterday and everything's going fine. I'm under the car and I started up and I'm hearing a little bit of noise. I had been hearing some noise from the front of the car for about a week. So I've been trying to figure out where it's coming from, and it sounded like it was coming from around here, like the supercharger or somewhere in that area. But I couldn't find anything. So anyway, I'm under the car yesterday and putting everything back together, put the bumper on, and out falls one of the crank bolts, broken. Not this one, it was another one. It was actually broken, shorter than this. So I was like, oh man, I think that's a crank bolt. So I couldn't tell where it came from. I said, I think that looks like a crank bolt. So, I'm running the 207 millimeter 034 Motorsport pulley. So I put my camera in there, and that's the picture that you guys see where they came out. So I already know what happened. So when I originally put this on, if you go back and look at the video of me installing this crank pulley, I decided to stick with the stock bolts because they're splined and not the Allen heads like these. These are the ones that 034 supplies. So I'm like, oh, maybe the 034s were a little bit stronger or something like that. But that wasn't it. When I looked at the picture again, I could see where the pulley actually rotated a little bit. So I'm like, how could that happen? The belt's not stuck or anything. None of the pulleys are stuck. So I remembered it's been raining out here, right? And I do heavy industrial construction. Right now I'm working at a plant where I had to park around the back. There's a spot where we all park, and it was flooded. So I drove through and I didn't realize it was as deep as it was. It didn't look like it, but it was deep. So I drove through, and that's when I thought about, after that, that's when I started noticing that sound a few days after, maybe even that same day after I left for lunch or whatever. I think that's when I noticed it. So what I'm thinking has happened was the motor got flooded with water because it was pretty deep, and you could see this pulley has these raised edges in here, so they're acting like almost like a propeller. So as the pulley's turning, when that water hit it, it created like tension on the pulley. So the crank is spinning, and it hit the pulley, and the pulley kind of like stopped a little bit, I guess, and it looks like it sheared the bolts. Because when I looked at the picture, I noticed that, I said, man, it looks like it turned a little bit and sheared the bolts. And that's what happened. So just FYI, you guys look out for that. If you ever see a puddle, just drive around it if you got this pulley, or I don't know if the other pulleys, all the pulleys are different. Some have voids in it, so the water probably would have went through and not had so much. But this one has this stop right here, so the water just kind of stayed in here and turned and created some back pressure or whatever, if you will, because these right here are acting kind of like a propeller. So that's what happened. But so there's 8 bolts on here, and 3 of them screwed out. One of them screwed out, but it was broken, but this came out with it. So I guess it broke right at the end. So I got lucky there. 3 of them broke with part of the bolt sticking out. So I just put this on there, and you can see right there that put these pliers on it, and it's turning out. So got one out already. The first one turned out by hand. There's another one right here that's shorter, but I just put my hand on, and that one's turning by hand, so I'm lucky there. But these two right here, they broke off inside, so I'm gonna have to probably drill a hole in them and hammer an Allen in there to get them out. But you know, could have been a lot worse. It could have just sheared off everything flush in there or whatever, and I just would have been, you know. But you guys wish me luck. I'm pretty sure I'll get those two out. Sometime I get lucky with getting these out with a flathead. When these break, sometime it's like they get loose because all the pressure is off them. I'm hoping that's what happens. But I'm gonna get back to this and I'll get back with you guys. Right, I'm back. Just want to show y'all what I did for one of them. You could sorry y'all with the camera. This is one of the two. I thought there were two. There's actually three. You can see the one right above that one has some in it, and then there's this one right below it. So I thought it was only two, but it's actually three. But I cleaned them out. I sprayed some spray in there. Then I just took this pick. And I stuck it in the hole. You can see I have a little bend on it. Sorry, right there. And I just stuck it in the hole, and I can't really see, so I would just turn it like that, and I felt it turn. And as I'm turning, I'm seeing this come out like that. It got flush. You know, it got pretty much flush right there. And then I just had to turn a little bit. It was enough for me to get my fingernails on it and then turn it like that. And then the rest is just turning by hand. So this is about to come out my hand, but I got to get back to it on these two. Hopefully these come out the same way, because if not, I'm going to have to take this whole core support off so I can get a drill in there. And that means I'm going to have to drain all the coolant, because I'm going to have to unhook the radiator line and all, and you know, probably unhook some electrical connections and all that. So y'all wish me luck. I'm about to go back in. All right, you guys, I'm back again. You can see I ended up having to take that apart and drain the coolant. So took the headlights out, broke one tab. That kind of pissed me off, so I gotta fix that. But anyway, I ended up having to drill the last two because they were turning, then they would stop, and just wasn't enough. So let me show you what bit I used. I used a smaller bit than this to start, but ended up breaking. So I just used this, made sure I was straight. Don't put too much pressure. Make sure you get it right in the middle, and then start drilling real slow. So you have like your little pilot hole, and then drill, you know, until it gets deep enough to where you can stick like an Allen, or like I got this small screwdriver. Show you guys how they come out, because they're really not in there that tight. And then I'll show you guys. That's it right there. Put over here with the other ones. And this thing doesn't want to come off of here. And this last one, same thing. And see how that hole is like close to the edge? That's why I was telling you, if you can, if this ever happens, hopefully this doesn't happen, but if you can, take like a pick first before you drill anything, and sometimes you could get it on the edge hard enough to where it'll turn. That's how this other one turned out. That's usually how I get them, but you know, sometimes they break off where the head of the bolt, well, the broken part of the bolt is just not going to let you grab anything. But see what I did right here? Just stuck this little baby screwdriver in there. It comes right out. You can also use like one of these or an Allen or something. I would say use one of these because they have more bite. But usually those bolts aren't in there that tight. So it's all of them out. None of the threads or anything are messed up. So I'm gonna just clean this all up and get everything back together. And I'll get right back with you guys. All right, you guys, I'm back. You see I got everything back together. I put the supplied Allen bolts from my old 34 in. put some Loctite on the end of them, blue Loctite, and torqued them to 22 foot-pounds per their instructions. And oh look, you can see the new coolant pipe better, new supercharger coolant pipe better now versus this one. This one ran like that way, and that hose comes all the way around and all the way around the radiator to the front. You know, it's just long routing. But this is the new one. You can see this side, this bottom pipe. This bottom pipe is going to the upper pipe right here, and this upper pipe right here is going to the lower pipe up here, the supply. So anyway, that's it. Definitely not how I wanted to spend my Sunday, but it's done. Hopefully when I get it back together, I'll be having a lot cooler intake temps. And I want to do I got the ported supercharger ready. Well, actually, I gotta put I had to order some sealant for it, some high temp sealant for it, the anaerobic, and I had to order some grease. So I'll tell you guys which one I went with, and then I'll tell you who I got the grease I found. I had to do some research on it, because the Eaton superchargers use a certain type of grease. There's actually only 2 different greases for it, and I found a place that had it, and they sent it to me, I think last week. I just haven't had a chance to put the supercharger back together, and then I wanted to do a video on it just to show people, like, because every time I see a ported supercharger video, no one really shows like the inside of it or anything. So I just kind of want to show you guys what it looks like and what I had to do and everything, and you know, what's all involved with it and all. But anyway, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.